Okay, everyone, we're on.
What's the matter, baby?
I'm doing a video, baby.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You can play your videos. We're on sites. With a fascinating history that involves pirates and prostitutes, soldiers and slave owners, voodoo queens and vampire lore. New Orleans has lured curious outsiders for decades. Families come for family-friendly places like the Audubon Aquarium of the Americas, Blaine Kearns Mardi Gras World, and the Audubon Zoo. Art lovers flock for the Degas House and the New Orleans Museum of Art, and outdoor enthusiasts appreciate oases like City Park, but its history buffs who are particularly alone with the Big Easy. Besides engrossing exhibits at the National World War II Museum, the Crescent City, and especially the French Quarter, boasts an array of historic structures that the city's original neighborhood was laid out in 1722 and served various fires and regime chefs before becoming the well-known, well-favored heart of New Orleans that it is today. Most visitors venture to Jackson Square, the bustling sanctuary on Decatur Street, bound by classic wrought iron fencing and surrounded by several noteworthy buildings. Not far from here, the charming Hermione Garma Historic House Museum awaits, as does the magnificent old U.S. Mint. Hold on 1 minute. Hello?
Hello, this is UNC Ambulatory Clinics, calling about your recent visit. If this is Holly, press 1. If not, press 2. If we have reached the ink, great. We would appreciate feedback about your recent visit.
Sorry about that, everyone. And surrounded by several noteworthy buildings. Not far from there, the charming Hermione Gemma Historic House Museum awaits, as does the magnificent old U.S. Mint and the assorted structure known as the Historic New Orleans Collection. History buffs also find plenty to love beyond the quarter, from the distinctive homes of the Faubourg Marigny and Garden District to the crumbling cemeteries in the Cremain and Mid-City neighborhoods. In a city defined for both good and bad by water, many natives enjoy simply wandering through the Woudenberg Riverfront Park alongside the Mississippi River. Naturally, you might think about the negative aspects of water at such times, namely the damage and floods of Hurricane Katrina. While that destruction is still evident in places like Lakeview, Mid-City, the Ninth Ward, and New Orleans East, New Orleans has experienced a resistance since 2005, and this fast-growing city is now brimming with refurbished attraction, brand new establishment, and re-energized residents. French Quarter. Despite the round-the-clock presence of bicycles and cars, the French Quarter is a pedestrian-friendly neighborhood with a delicately constructiony nature at once marked by a traditional European attraction, architecture, Baby, how do you say this word?
Architecture.
Architecture. Lush Caribbean-style courtyards, high-end art galleries, bohemian shops, traditional jazz clubs, and rowdy karaoke bars. This historic district appeals to tourists and residents alike. Simply walking amid the old-fashioned gas lamps constitutes a sight in itself, albeit a tantalizing, multi-sensory one. While strolling along the cracked, ankle-spraining sidewalks, enjoy the varied street musician, the clip-clop of passing carriages, and an air often scented with the mingled perfume of sweet olive trees, chicory, lace, coffee, boiled seafood, and yes, mule manure. Audubon Aquarium of the Americas. Established in 1990 by the Aquarium Nature Institution, the same folks who operate the historic Audubon Zoo, the Audubon Aquarium of the Americas is one of the most popular tourist destinations in downtown New Orleans. Situated at the southern end of a 16-acre Woodenburg Riverfront Park alongside the Mississippi River, this contemporary glass and brick building houses several intriguing exhibits, most notably the 400,000-gallon Gulf of Mexico exhibit, which features a variety of sharks, stingrays, and other saltwater creatures amid the barnacle pilings of an offshore oil rig replica. Kids especially favor this family-friendly attraction where they can touch cow-nosed rays, climb above an Amazon rainforest, and via an underground glass tunnel, stroll through the Monterey eels and tropical fish of the Caribbean coral reef. Visitors to this exceptional two-story aquarium will observe a wide array of aquatic and amphibious creatures, not to mention spots the unusual white alligator who lives in the Mississippi River Gallery. There are also two gift shops on the premises. Adjacent to the aquarium is the Energy IMAX Theater. 504-581-4629 daily, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. $10.50 for adult, $9.50 for seniors 65 and older, $8 for child 2 through 12, free for children under the age of 2, which typically showcases vibrant 3D nature disaster documentaries. Technically, the last ticket is sold an hour before closing. Discounted self-parking is available whether you have your ticket validated at the aquarium or the IMAX Theater. It's possible to save money by purchasing a combo ticket for both attractions. $29 adult, $23 for senior citizens over 65 and older, and child 2 to 12, and free under 2. Note the aquarium is closed most Mondays in fall, winter, and spring. Audubon Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. Part of the stately U.S. Custom House, a 30,000 square foot intimidating gray structure that occupies an entire block, is home to the Audubon Butterfly Garden and Insectarium, which contains the largest freestanding collection of insects in the United States, about 900,000 species in all. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. I thought I had to deal with the scammers. Visitors have the opportunity to touch all kinds of creatures, although many others, like the despised cockroaches, are presented through clever displays from a safe distance. Even the museum's tiny termite cafe has an insect-themed appearance, and the glass-top tables are actually termites, so you might find yourself eating directly over a live tarantula. Museum Bug Cooking Demonstration Cafe Bug Appetit illustrates how people around the world routinely snack on insects as an excellent source of protein. Less harrowing for squeamish visitors is the massive butterfly room set within a Japanese-style garden. The Audubon Butterfly Garden and Insectarium is closed most Mondays in fall, winter, and spring. The Beauregard Keys House and Garden Museum. Opposite the old Ursula convent stands the Beauregard Keys House, one of the relatable few raised cottages in the French Quarter. The entrance and main floor are only one level above the street. After the Civil War, the handsome mansion was finished in 1826, became home of the Confederate General P.G.T. Beauregard. Over the years that followed, the house had a number of owners, and by the mid-1920s, it was nearly slated for demolition. Tore down before a group of women, aware that Beauregard had lived here after the Civil War, began a campaign to save it. In 1944, novelist Frances Ferguson Keys took possession of the house and hired a firm to restore it. She lived here until 1969 and wrote several of her 500-odd books here. Today, her extended collection of antique dolls, fans, and folk customs are on display, and some of her books are available in the on-shop gift shop. One of the lead attractions is the formal garden, laid out by the late wife of Switzerland's consul to New Orleans, who owned the house in the 1830s. From beyond the outer wall, you can see the portiere going through brick windows fashioned with iron grills. A stroll through this lovely space is included in any of the guided 45-minute house tours, which is departed every hour on the hour. Roses, daylilies, crepe myrtle, azaleas, sweet olive trees, irises, magnolia trees, and evergreen shrubs blend and bloom in one of the quarter's loveliest gardens. the Cabio. One on the upper river side of the St. Louis Cathedral stands the Cabio, the building in which the former transfer of Louisiana to the United States took place after the Louisiana Purchase. The Spanish first constructed the Cabio as the seat of government in the 1970s, but its replacement was destroyed during both major city fires in the 18th century. The current structure, made of brick and stucco and built in the Spanish style with Moorish influences, was erected in 1794. Serving again as home to the Spanish administrative body, after which it became the Mansion de Ville town hall during the very brief time that French reclaimed New Orleans. It served as the Louisiana Supreme Court headquarters for much of the 19th and early 20th centuries, and it was actually the site where the landmark Plessy versus Ferguson decision, which legalized segregation, originated in 1892. Many promenade visitors have been officially received in the Cabio, from the Marquis de Lafayette to Mark Twain. The building looks more French than Spanish today because the original flat tile roof was replaced with a second Empire Mascar roof in the late 1840s. Part of the Louisiana State Museum in 1908, the Cabio contains a fascinating exhibit tracing the history of Louisiana through the past 2 centuries, beginning with the region's Native Americans and ending with Reconstruction. Each section uses maps, photographers, drawings, historical documents, and narrative signs to describe the period and theme. The museum is closed on state holidays. French Market. One of the city's most famous attractions, the French Market, is a particular multi-block collection of shops, eateries, and stalls that part of the slightly larger French Market district. Legend has it that this site stood as a Choctaw trading post long before the Spanish established an early market here in 1791. Parts of the current structure date to 1813. Originally, the stalls contained only a meat market, but some subsequent structures were added all along North Peter Street throughout the 19th century, housing markets of fresh produce, flowers, and spices. Coffee stands were open at opposite ends of the stalls, and one remains to this day, the delightful Café du Monde. The Farmers Market. A cover open-air market building is fun for any gourmet. Besides a few other eateries, which often host live music, the market also contains retail and craft shops, which sells everything from local artwork to Latin American hammocks. A small shade seating area, La Rowe Waterworks Park, is a peaceful spot to munch on the edibles you might have purchased. In addition, the French Market District compensates Washington Artery Park, a Joan of Arc statue, the art-filled Dutch Alley, and the New Orleans Jazz National Historical Park Visitor Center. Beyond these sites, you might also enjoy visiting the French Market during annual events like the Creole Tomato Festival in early June. Like I said, me and my husband will be at the Tomato Festival come next year, right?
Right.
And we'll probably get in some Creole tomatoes and other different types of tomatoes to probably fill up green tomatoes, Roman tomatoes. Well, Eric's not a, my husband Eric is not a big fan of Roman tomatoes, right?
Well, I like them more than beefsteak. Those beefsteak tomatoes, they look normal, but they're weird. They taste weird.
The Gallagher House Historic House Museum. On the riverside of Royal Street stands the Gallagher House, part of a museum that also includes the Herman Germa House on St. Louis Street, the former house of famed New Orleans architect James Gallagher Jr., who designed the house in 1857. It's filled with exquisite furnishing from the 19th century, also plus elaborated marble and fox boss wood painted very carefully to resemble a more precise type of wood, considered one of the more celebrated restored landmarks in New Orleans. The two-story stucco facade is noted for its orientated balustrated balcony and sheer and slender, finely crafted columns. The 45-minute guide tour, which is available on the hour, includes a look at the Victorian home, the on-site carriageway, the carefully restored slave quarters, and a finely maintained garden which sparkles with fountains and slate walks. Note, the last tour of the day starts an hour before closing. The Herman Gemma Historic House Museum. Just off Rowdy Bourbon Street, you'll encounter one of the quarter's best house museums, the Herman Gemma House, a steep-roof federal-style mansion built in 1831 and resembling the sort of home you will more than often see in Savannah or other old cities of British origin. One usually featured in the quarter's only horse stable, adjacent to the charming courtyard garden. The house, which is run by the same folks who operate the Gallagher House on Royal Street, offers information on the hour tours that reveal the customary lifestyle enjoyed by prospectors Creole families between 1830 and 1860. Note that the last tour of the day starts an hour before closing time. For an even greater understanding of dining and entertainment tradition, in 19th century New Orleans, opt for an open hearth demonstration most Thursdays, October through May, in the restored open hearth kitchen, the only functional one left in the French Quarter, a holdover from the home Antebellum days. What does antebellum mean again, baby?
Before the war, before the Civil War specifically.
Slave days, right?
Yeah. That's why Lady Antebellum's name was changed to Lady A. They said the word antebellum was offensive. But antebellum is literally a Latin term that means before the war. But it is implied that they're talking about the Civil War. Ante, A-N-T-E, means before in Latin. And bellum is a word for war.
These demonstrations enable you to watch the museum's culinary experts as they prepare seasonal dishes by utilizing traditional techniques of 19th century New Orleans. Afterward, be sure to stop by the exchange shop in the former carriage house, which offers books as well as jewelry, creameries, textiles, photographs, and paintings of female artists based in Louisiana and along the Gulf Coast. I'm sorry, everyone, about my talking. I just been having a lot of, just having a hard time speaking for some reason. The historic New Orleans collection. Amid the art galleries of Royal Street lies one of the city's most underrated attractions. The historic New Orleans Collection, CHNOC, established in 1966 by Avid Collection General Al Camper Williams and his wife Layla. This complex includes the Greek Revival style Myrtle house built in 1792. The house now contains the Williams Gallery, featuring rotating history exhibits in the Louisiana History Galleries. 13 chambers that each explore a specific period of the state's history, from the French colonial
Let me see the word. Wait, hold on.
colonial years to the 20th century. By using authentic maps, books, furniture, and artwork. From the courtyard, you'll notice a few other buildings, such as the Spanish colonial style counting house and the three-star Minnesota, which is now contain administrative offices. One exception is the Williams residence, an 1880s Italianate townhouse that the museum founders occupied until 1963. Dawn led tours Tuesdays through Saturday, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 3 p.m. Sunday, 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 3 p.m. Enable you to view this room by room survey of how an upscale early 20th century home would have been furnished, including several antiques, various watercolors, and vintage maps of New Orleans. You can also join a guided architectural tour of the buildings and courtyards that comprise the Royal Street complex. Note that the collection is closed on major holidays. This impressive complex of interconnected buildings also include 3 structures on Tulsa Street, a former Bacon house, a Creole cottage, and the two-story Louis Adam house where Tennessee Williams once boarded. While here, you should also make time for the impressive museum shop in the Marriott House, where you'll find everything from novels and historic books to vintage maps and iconic jewelry. In addition, THNOC oversees the Williams Research Center, 410 Charter Street, 504-598-7171, Tuesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Free. A Burr art style brick structure containing an exclusive library of roughly 35,000 documents and manuscripts, plus more than 300,000 photographs, drawings, prints, and paintings about the history of New Orleans. Jackson Brewery, which I don't drink. On the riverside of Decatur, not far from Jackson Square, stands the Regal Jackson Brewery building. Once the largest independent brewery in the South, German architect Dietrich Enestal designed the fanciful structure with its imposing center tower in 1891. The brewery closed in the 1970s, and the four-story building with expansive views of the river has been restored as the shops at Jack's Brewery, which I've been in. Wait, have I? No, I haven't. A collection of various bars, restaurants, and shops mainly selling clothes, jewelry, and artwork. Baby, if we ever go to New Orleans,
we go to New Orleans all the time, but what, baby?
I would like to go to the shops at Jackson Brewery.
Alright, where's that at? What street is it on, baby?
600 Decatur Street.
Okay, that's in the quarter, but we could possibly.
We just take a bus there.
Yeah.
Jackson Square. Jackson Square was named in honor of the 7th U.S. President, Andrew Jackson, who led the United States to victory during the Battle of New Orleans. A 14-foot-tall bronze statue of Jackson serves as the square's centerpiece and ranks among the city's favorite photo ops. It ain't there no more, people. Filled with trees, benches, and grassy areas, Jackson Square is a wonderful place to sit and read a newspaper, eat a muffaletta from one of the nearby cafes, and observe the oldest section of New Orleans. Note that no dogs or bikes are permitted. Lettering saluted SOLICITING. Saluting and feeding the birds are also illegal. More often than not, you'll find mimes, musicians, and other entertainers along the promenades that fence Jackson Square. Sometimes, even after the park has closed at night, horse-drawn carriages usually line the gated park along Decatur Street, awaiting tourists for guided excursions through the quarter. This picturesque green space is surrounded by several historical buildings, including the gorgeous St. Louis Cathedral, as well as the Cub Bellevue and the Presbytery. Along the northeastern and southwestern sides of the square lie the lower and upper Hornbella buildings. You okay?
Yeah, I dropped my phone by mistake.
The oldest apartment buildings in the country. Here you find the historic 1850 house in the lower level, several eateries and worthwhile shops including food lovers and farms like Creole delicacies and an outpost of Tabasco country store. Jean Lafitte National Historical Park and Preservation. A couple of blocks upriver from Jackson Square, the main office of Jean Lafitte National Historic Park and Preservation, established in 1978 to preserve national and historical resources and properties throughout the Mississippi River Valley. The park actually has 6 distinct units. This one of the French Quarter Visitor Center, the other in the Metro New Orleans, Chalmette in the Metro New Orleans, Chalmette Battlefield and National Cemetery just east of the city, as well as the Barataria Preserve on the West Bank. And the 3 in Cajun country, in Thibodaux, Lafayette, and Ewing, that deal in Cajun culture. Although the Visitor Center presents a film and several exhibits on various historical culture aspects of New Orleans, Louisiana, and the Mississippi River Delta. Its best feature is 1 hour range led walking tour along the river front, given at 9:30 Tuesday through Saturday. These free tours are limited to 25 people and can fill up quickly. Availability is first come, first served. The center is closed on federal holidays as well as Mardi Gras Day. On a small grassy island along Decatur Street and across the park's visitor center, note the dignified statue of the man who first plotted New Orleans at the site of the present-day French Quarter, Jean-Baptiste Le Monsieur Seigneur de Béninville, brother of the explorer Pierre Le Monsieur Seigneur de Abbeville. Jean-Baptiste or John Baptiste decision in 1966 to establish a fortification on this miserable, swampy spot risked the skeleton of many, but of course New Orleans had become one of the world's most charming yet swampiest and at home hottest cities. Lalaurie Mansion. This courtesy gray house is worth mentioning if only because of its dark history. Routinely included on its walking ghost tours offered in the French Quarter, this notorious haunted mansion was once owned by the twice widowed Madame Dauphine Martyra de Lopez Blangon and her third husband, Dr. Louis Lorraine. After moving into this house in 1832, the couple soon became the tours of the town, dazzling the peers with lavish parties. According to legend, when a fire broke out in the mansion in 1834, the neighbors made a horrifying discovery: several tortured, starving slaves chained in the attic. Apparently, the neighbors were further enraged to learn that some Dauphine slaves had died under mysterious circumstances. To evade punishment, Dauphine and her family fled to Europe, where she supposedly died several years later. Over the ensuing decades, the building served as headquarters of the Union Army, the Gambling House, and the home of Nicolas Cage. Though all of its incarcerations, however, the Lorraine Mansion has often been the source of ghastly tales. Madame John Legacy. Considered a fine example of Louisiana French colonial style or Creole home for the late 18th century, Madame John Legacy was built to replace a home lost in the Great Fire of 1788. It survived the next smaller fire of 1794, and today is just one of the few remaining pre-1800 buildings in the quarter. The historic complex, which fronts Domain Street, comprises 3 buildings: a main house, a two-story concierge, and a kitchen with a cook's living quarters. Despite designated a National Historic Landmark and now part of the Louisiana State Museum, the home currently houses the palm, the pine, and the cypress Newcomb pottery of New Orleans, an exhibit that features more than 500 glazed ceramic pieces plus archival photographs that documented the history of this much-loved local pottery. Note that the museum is closed on state holidays. New Orleans Jazz Fest National Historical Park. While the official historical headquarters 419 Decatur Street, Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4:30, of New Orleans Jazz National Historic Park are technically located at the same address as those of Jean Lafitte National Historic Park and Preservation. The Visitor Center is actually situated in the French Quarter Market District. Here you can participate in weekly rain-led programs, from lectures to musical demonstrations that explore their origin, development, and evolution of New Orleans style jazz. You can pick up binoculars featuring an 11-stop tour of historic jazz sites in the Crescent City, as well as the Jazz Walk of Fame in Algiers Point or Cutoff. A line of old-fashioned lampposts that highlight several jazz greats from Louis Armstrong to Louis Premier. Self-guided audio tours are also available through the site or by phoning 504-613-4062. Moreover, the park oversees jazz-related exhibits in the Old U.S. Mint, as well as special events at Persevere Hall, a historic building in Louis Armstrong Park, 701 North Rampart Street, 504-658-3200, that was once the oldest Masonic lodge in Louisiana and later a multi-use event venue where African American jazz musicians would perform for black and white audiences. Note that the Visitor Center headquarters and Mint building are closed on certain holidays. New Orleans Musical Legends Park. While strolling down Bourbon, note the small New Orleans Musical Legends Park, which was established in 1999, and now contains several bronze statues honoring some of the city's most legendary performers, including jazz clarinetist Pete Fountain, trumpet greats Al Hurt and Louis Premier, and singers Alan Tornes and Armour Thomas. Additional statues, busts, and plaques will be added through the years as notable jazz musicians are inducted. Besides the statues, the park includes a lovely fountain, several tables and chairs, and a few food stalls selling surprisingly tasty fare from gumbo to beignets. So grab some food, find a seat, listen to live jazz music daily 10 a.m. to close, courtesy of Steamboat Willie and other musicians. Don't forget to bring along the family pet. Leash dogs are welcome in the park. New Orleans Schoolhouse of Cooking. While most people visit New Orleans to taste its one-of-a-kind food, it's also possible to learn how to create such wonderful cuisine. Since 1980, the New Orleans School of Cooking, situated in a revoted 19th century molasses warehouse that has invented local Cajun and Cajun Creole chefs to teach residents and visitors alike the basics of Louisiana-style cooking, sharing history and tall tales along the way. The popular demonstration lunch specials, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. $28 to $32.50 includes generous sampling of the demonstration menu items plus recipes, coffee, iced tea, and Ambita beer. 3-hour hands-on cooking classes Tuesdays and Fridays 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. $139 a person are also available provided you are 18 years or older. Besides beverages and the prepared meal, you'll receive a souvenir apron and related recipes. Depending on the class, dishes may include jambalaya, crawfish etouffee, or shrimp and artichoke soup. Non-chefs can persuade the on-site Louisiana General Store use the on-site Louisiana Store, which offers a plethora of Cajun and Creole products from cookbooks and cookware to spices and gift bags. Old Ursuline Convent. King Louis XV of France established the Old Ursuline Convent in 1745 to house the Ursuline nuns who first came to New Orleans in the late 1720s, making them the first nuns to establish a permanent foothold in what is today the United States. This convent was their second home, completed in 1753, and now believed to be the oldest extended building in the Mississippi River Valley. They moved to Dauphine Street in 1824 and then to their present uptown home at 2635 State Street in 1912. In the early decades, the convent housed everyone from France, orphans, and wounded British soldiers to exiled Acadians in the city's destitute masses. During the early 1800s, the nuns conducted a school for the education of daughters of wealthy Louisiana plantation owners. Today, the Ursuline Academy still functions as a State Street local as the country's oldest tertiary operated school for women. The convent on Charter Street is part of a large escalating complex called the Archbishop Anton Bryant Memorial, owned by the Catholic Archdiocese of New Orleans. The entry complex, which includes the adjacent gardens, the attended St. Mary's Church, and several related outbuildings, is named for the first Archbishop of New Orleans, Antonio Blanche. Today, the complex and the St. Louis Cathedral in Jackson Square from the Catholic Culture Heritage Center of the Archdiocese of New Orleans. The Old Ursuline Convent Museum, which encompasses the exhibits on the first floor of the main convent building, is open for self-guided tours. Simply purchase a ticket at the gift shop, 1112 Charter Street, and then at your own pace explore the convent exhibits, the rear garden, and the adjacent church. The last admission occurs at 3:15 on weekdays, 2:15 on Saturdays. During the last season, June through September, the exhibit scales back and the administration is $5 for adults. The Old U.S. Mint. Fashioned with a granite facade and made for studio I'm sorry, everyone. I just keep thinking I have something crawling on me. In Mississippi River mud brick, the U.S. Mint was constructed in 1835 at the behest of the U.S. President Andrew Jackson. This is the only building in the country to have functioned as both a U.S. and Confederate mint. It also housed Confederate troops for a time during the Civil War. With the Union occupation, the mint was shut down until Reconstruction, at which time it would resume service. In 1909, the mint was decommissioned, and in 1981 it was added to the state museum system. Today it's home to the Louisiana Historical Center and Overchief, open to the public and containing priceless collections of colonial era maps and manuscripts. The site is also home to Music at the Mint, which features a variety of music related artifacts such as posters, sheet music, and memorabilia from Sidney Beckett's soprano sax to Fats Domino's piano. A living museum, the Mint also has historical musical recordings, showcase live performances, and present on-site interviews of performing musicians. There's also a large tribute to Louis Armstrong, as well as 3 colorful murals depicting New Orleans' fatal story, Vail Red Light District, and one of the city's cultivators of jazz. A small display is dedicated to the building's architect, William Sarkland, who trained under famous Greek revival architect Benjamin Latrobe, and who also designed the Tennessee State Capitol as well as the mints in Charlotte and Philadelphia. Note that it is closed on state holidays. Penable building in the 1850 house. The Penable apartments were commissioned by Barnabas Marcelo Monster de Penable in 1849. I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong. I cannot pronounce it. The lower building on St. Anne in 1851. The upper building on St. Peter. She inherited the land from her father, Don Andreas Almonster, the man who had financed the Cabello, the Presbyterian in St. Louis Cathedral after the devastation fire of 1788. Each row of buildings constructed of 16 separate houses on the upper levels and a series of shops on the lower levels. After the Civil War, Jackson Square and its enormous inversions began to devolve, and the Imperial apartments functioned as rather unfashionable tenants. In 1921, William Ratcliffe IB bought the lower portable building and willed the property to the Louisiana State Museum. The grand old townhouses were subdivided into smaller apartments. The 1850 house was restored in 1955 by the museum to serve as an example of a fine New Orleans townhouse by the 1850s. Most of the interior furnitures were donated to the museum, or aesthetic to the exact period. Today, the 1850 house is a small but popular museum, which also has an excellent book and gift shop. The actual apartment occupies the 2 floors above the shop. Visitors can stand at the edge of the doorway and peer in the rooms, gaining a sense of an 1850s row house owned by a family of somewhat considerable means. Plaques on the 3rd floor detail the lives of the home's inhabitants from the 1850 to 1861. The museum is closed on state holidays. The Presbyter. I'm getting bit. Built in 1797 as a home for the priests of the St. Louis Cathedral and standing just on the downriver side of it, the 2-story Presbyter on Jackson Square bears a structural resemblance to the Cabell. It was never used for its intended purpose, as its financier, Don Andreas Almonster, a Spaniard of considerable means who also founded the Cabell and St. Louis Cathedral, died before it was completed.
New pair of pants, the button came off.
You want me to sew it?
Yeah, when you get it, it doesn't have to be right this second, but when you get a chance, please,
Okay.
babe.
The U.S. government eventually completed it and used it to house the Louisiana State Courts during the 19th century.
And when you get to a stopping point, you want to go watch the sunset?
Sure. In 1911, it became part of the Louisiana State Museum, and today it houses a colorful, permanent exhibit on the history of Mardi Gras traditions both in the city and the state. Videos, audio tapes, and a wide array of artifacts details how Louisiana has celebrated Carnival. Through the years and how this event has grown to become one of the most popular festivals in the world. You'll also encounter Living with Hurricane Katrina and Beyond, a heartbreaking yet inspiring exhibit that utilizes photography, eyewitness accounts, artifacts, and multimedia displays to explore the history and science of hurricanes. In particular, you'll learn more about the loss and destruction caused by Hurricane Katrina and Rita in 2005, as well as the service, solidarity, and
I'm sorry about the beeping there.
it's okay. Resilience, demonstrability by residents and others in the aftermath. The district is closed on state holidays. St. Louis Cathedral. The lakeside end of Jackson Square is dominated by the St. Louis Cathedral, one of the most magnificent cathedrals in the United States. The current building was constructed in 1794 in the Spanish style with two round spirals rising from the facade and then virtually rebuilt and remodeled in 1849. Similar churches have stood on this site since the 1720s, not long after the arrival of the French explorer Jean-Baptiste Le Monnier.
Oh, okay.
Seigneur de Bienville, who established New Orleans as a permanent settlement in 1718. During the 1849 remodel, each steeples were added to the two cinematic round towers, and the building has received additional restorations over the years. The cathedral was designated a minor
Basilica, probably.
Basilica in 1964 by Pope Paul the VI.
Sixth.
Mass is held every day.
That's who said birth control was a sin, by the way. That same Pope.
Oh my God. Mass is held every day, and the gift shop daily, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., offers an assortment of religious and spiritual items. Visitors are welcome to take a guided tour of the property as an alternative simple wander inside and explore the gorgeous architecture, including telescope stained glass windows on your own. For $1 donation, you can pick up a self-guided brochure near the front entrance. Keep in mind that this is an actual church, so be respectful of those who have come for prayer and quiet reflection. Also, if you are in town during December, consider attending one of the free jazz concerts on offer here.
Is the beeping disturbing you, baby? Okay. You sure?
Yeah. Voodoo Spiritual Temple, operated by priestess Miriam, Miriam.
Miriam, I guess?
Miriam. From Courage the Cowardly Dog.
No, that's Muriel.
Muriel? I thought it was Miriam. The Center of Voodoo Worship and Healing offers voodoo consultation, rituals, and workshops, as well as city tours, an on-site gift shop. Meanwhile, it sells handcrafted voodoo dolls, grisa grisa, gree,
That's putting a curse.
and mojo bags, aroma oils, and books and CDs related to voodoo. The Voodoo Spiritual Temple is a frequent stop on the city tours, like the walking tour hosted by the New Orleans Historic Voodoo Museum. While on such tours, you'll typically be able to experience the temple's impressive altar room filled with spiritual altars of all kinds. Be respectful. These altars constructive, a strictly look at but don't touch attraction. The hours of the temple are flexible, so don't be surprised to find the front door locked at random times. Woodenburg Riverfront Park. Named for philosopher
Spell the word, baby, now.
Thilanthropist philanthropist Malcolm Woodenburg, 1896 to 1982. Lovely Woodenburg Riverfront Park is a 16-acre green space and red brick promenade that extends along the riverfront from the aquarium to Jackson Brewery. It's along this stretch that the site of New Orleans was established in 1718. Grape, myrtle, and magnolia trees shade the numerous park benches, affording romantic views of the Mississippi River. One of their original quays, Quays. Keys.
I'm not sure.
Tulsa
Sorry about that stupid deal around my
Street
scanner.
Wharf is home to the particular excursion riverboat, the Steamboat Natchez, which I think I've been on.
Okay.
Facing the park is the Moonwalk or Riverwalk, a wooden boardwalk that stretches along the riverfront between St. Philip and St. Peter Streets. Musicians, tourists, and homeless individuals are all drawn here to this scenic spot. It's often a little sketchy at night. In Woodenburg Riverfront Park, which serves as one of the main sites for the French Quarter.
We're going to go there during the day, baby. Like
Okay.
in the near future.
And other annual events are several significant sculptures. The stunning 20-foot tall monument of the immigrant statue by noted New Orleans artist Franco.
Spell it, baby.
Franco. Franco.
Yeah, Franco, that's it.
Lisianari.
That's Italian of it. Spell it, baby.
Alessandrini.
I have no idea, but that's definitely an Italian name.
Commemorates New Orleans' role as one of the nation's most prolific immigrant
That's it, yes.
ports throughout the 19th century. We're in the 20th century or the
We're in the 21st, but in the 1800s, which was the 19th century, a lot of immigrants, they came in through the port of Boston, the port of New York, and the port of New Orleans.
Okay. It's fashioned from...
There were a lot of Europeans migrating to the United States during the 19th century. And those, of course, bound for Louisiana, or most of the Gulf Coast, came in through the port of New Orleans.
It's fashioned from the white Carrara marble. Other sculptures include Robert Scone's bizarre Old Man River, an 18-foot tribute to the Mississippi River and John Scott's Ocean Song, a series of 8 slender, 10-foot-tall stainless steel pyramids topped by a grid of rings. My favorite is the mesmerizing New Orleans Holocaust Memorial, www.holocaustmemorial.us, created by Israel artist Yaakov Yaakov Agam, Agam.
Agam. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
I think. Me and my husband think. We're not 100% sure.
Sorry if we butchered it.
Yeah, we're sorry to the artist.
We don't mean any disrespect.
We are trying our best as Americans to pronounce everybody's name. I'm trying my best.
And people butcher our name all the time, too. So.
Yeah, my maiden last name and my married name. You do not know how many people call me Garfield.
I'm sorry, baby.
Especially at the hospital.
And look how people butcher my name, so.
I'm sorry, how do you get Garfield out of Bartfield? That's my question.
Well, there was a President James Garfield. And unfortunately, he was shot in the back.
Dedicated in 2003 and featured 9 colorful panels which meld to form different images depending on where you're standing.
And it's possible that I have French Jew in me. And possibly German Jew in me as well. Which that explains the curly hair I got, I guess.
Central Business and Arts District. Blaine's Crans Mardi Gras World. The top reason that families venture to the Port of New Orleans is to visit Blaine Kern's Mardi Gras World, that public face of world-renowned Kern Studios, which since 1947 has been the largest builder of carnival sculptures and parade floats in the country. Formerly situated in Algiers, Mardi Gras World is now across the river on the east bank between the central...
It's by a cruise ship terminal, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen it many times crossing over the Crescent City Connection, baby.
Central Business District, CBD, and the Garden District. It's by the memorial,
And by the Riverwalk, too, I think.
Yeah, it's by the Riverwalk,
In my Grocer and Rider stories, could you tell that when they went on their date a week after Black Friday, could you tell that was based on the Riverwalk, or
no,
you didn't put 2 and 2 together?
No,
okay. Well, I'm glad I was able to maintain some ambiguity then.
You know, the convention center is?
Yeah, Morial.
Yeah, it's like right there next to it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, babe.
Where visitors can take a guided tour of the facility. I want to do that.
Okay.
Just to see how they do the floats. That's all.
Okay, we possibly could, baby.
The 1-hour tour, oh my god, the 1-hour tour includes a stroll amid kaleidoscopic floats, the observation of working artists and artisans, and a video about the history of the city's Mardi Gras celebration. Though Mardi Gras may take place over a
over a what?
Over a REALTIVELY. Relatively short period late each winter, this place hums with active every day of the year, with the exceptions of Easter Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and perhaps understandably Mardi Gras Day. Note that the last tour begins at 4:30 and a complimentary shuttle is available for visitors in the CBD and French Quarter. Yeah, the address is 1380 Port of New Orleans Place.
All right.
The tickets are $20 per person.
All right. It was possibly one day.
Gallagher Hall. Gallagher Hall, a Hulk and white Greek Riviera style building. Revival, thank you. Style building was named for his architect James Gallagher Sr., who designed and etched this structure between 1845 and 1853, boasting massive iconic columns. The stunning three-story marble structure served as the New Orleans City Hall from the mid-19th through mid-20th centuries. Today is used as a special events facility and reception hall. It also the spot where the city mayor greets the royal courts of Mardi Gras crews like Zulu and Rex. Several important people have been laid in state here, including Confederate President Jefferson Davis, Confederate General P.G.T. Beauregard, and R&B musician Ernie K. Doe. Never heard of that person. You?
No, but I heard of the other two.
President Jefferson Davis.
That was the President of the Confederate States of America.
Yeah, and
There's also a parish in Louisiana named after him.
Yeah.
There's Jefferson Davis Parish, and that's who it's named after. And then P.T. Beauregard. Oh, he was a Confederate general. Actually, I think Beauregard Parish is named after him.
Lee Circle is the hub for a small arts and museum district that has evolved on the streets just downriver from here since the mid-1990s. This is the one regal traffic circle in downtown New Orleans, and it impacts a slightly formal urban area, a hint of Paris or London, rising high over the traffic circle, which is atop on St. Charles Street line, stands a magnificent bronze statue of Robert E. Lee.
I think that statue was taken down since this book was published.
Yeah. Robert E. Lee, the Confederate Civil War general.
He was the top general of the Confederate States of America.
I thought he was with Washington.
No, he was no. I don't think he was even alive when George Washington was alive. Baby.
Robert E. Lee was.
You sure about that?
Robert E. Lee was with...
He was the top general of the Confederate States of America, baby.
Yeah.
He might have been...
Which Lee was with Washington?
I don't know of any other Lees. Robert E. Lee was the top general of the Confederate States of America.
Well, whoever is the history buff in my viewers know about any Lees that were with Washington General or President George W. Bush. George Washington, the first president. Comment in the comments.
Well, there was Benedict Arnold who betrayed the United States. He was one of Washington's generals, but he defected to the British, and I think they executed him. There was that dude. I don't know of any people by the name of Lee.
It sits atop a graceful marble column, the entire marble raising 60 feet over the circle. Depending on which direction you're coming from, it serves as a gateway to the Garden District or the CBD.
And CBD has taken on a whole new meaning, too.
Yeah, weed. Mercedes, Benz, or the Caesar
or whatever they
Superdome.
call it in the future.
Yeah, whatever they call it in the near future.
Wait, you want to hear something funny? You know how the college football game as part of the national championship, sometimes it's the actual championship game, sometimes it's one of the games leading up to it. It's called the Sugar Bowl, right? And it's
Yeah.
because Louisiana produces a lot of sugar. But you know what I used to think? I thought it was called that because I thought the Superdome looked like a giant sugar bowl. Like, you know where they store the sugar in? And I thought
Yeah.
the top of the dome was the cover of it. So, when I was a kid, I was thinking that. I was like, the Superdome looks like a giant sugar container. I wonder if the designers of the dome did that on purpose, though.
Don't know, babe.
Since they knew the Sugar Bowl would be played in there.
The Mercedes / Caesar Dome / whatever else they're going to name the Superdome in the near future. Superdome. Dome.
You realize it's 50 years old? The Superdome's 50 years old this year?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, this is what they say about the Superdome. The massive 52-acre structure is home to the NFL's New Orleans Saints college football ball's all-state Sugar Bowl, as well as major concerts and some of the city's most popular annual events. The city commissioned construction of the dome in 1966. However, construction didn't begin until 1971, finishing 4 years later. The Gargantuan.
Spell it, baby.
Gargantuan.
Gargantuan. That's just another word for gigantic or big or huge or...
Area is the largest dome stadium in the world, holding more than 76,000 fans for football. The roof alone covers about 13 acres and rises to a height of about 273 feet, nearly as tall as a 30-story building.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow is right. In the immediate wake of Hurricane Katrina, the Superdome became famous for its role as an evacuation center.
Yeah. And there were egregious things that happened in there in the days following Katrina, but we're not going to go there.
The roof and interior were completely refurbished in 2006 in time for the Superdome to host the Saints' 2006-2007 season opener, which the Saints won handily over the Atlanta Falcons. With a crowd of more than 7,000 Who-Dats cheering. In 2011, the Superdome underwent an $85 million
Spell the word, baby.
RENOVA
renovation
that completely modernized the facility, adding 3 elevators, more than 3,000 new seats, extra restrooms, and other amenities.
I've been to the Superdome twice.
I've been to see.
Oh wait, let me think. Positively twice. I might have been more than that.
Let's see. Britney Spears concert. 2.
I just heard it was a DMR signal, so I have no idea what they were saying, but just picked up the security at Auctioner main campus. I can't wait to get that scanner that can decode DMR.
And 2.
Go down there along that up.
Oh my God! With the big cars, with the big wheel.
Oh, Monster Jam.
2 Monster Jams.
Wow.
In a Saints preseason opener.
I went in...
So 4 times.
In September 1995, my dad brought me to a Saints and Falcons game. And then in, I guess, August or September of 2000, my dad brought me, my mom, my brother, and sister to another Saints game, but I don't remember who they played that time. So I've been to 2 Saints games at the Superdome.
I went 4 times.
My brother played a Little League football game in the Superdome, but I didn't go. I stayed with my grandparents.
The National World War II Museum, which your
I've been there, and yeah, my cousin and his girlfriend.
wants to take us.
Yeah. Have you ever been to it?
I want to go to it.
I went to it in April or May of 2005. I went to it.
But we need to get together with them.
Yeah.
And discuss when they want to go.
Yeah. And you get to meet that part of the family.
One of the nation's most exalted historians, the late Stephen Ambrose, founded the World War II Museum in the early 1990s. Ambrose, a professor at the University of New Orleans, or UNO, lived in New Orleans until his death in 2002. He is best known for such reventing.
Spell it, baby.
Riveting.
Wait, spell that again?
Riveting.
Riveting.
Riveting World War II histories as Band of Brothers, The Wild Blue, D-Day, Citizens, and The Victors. The museum opened to the public on June 6, 2000. The 56th anniversary of the amphibious
That was the Normandy invasion when they
World War II invasion.
When they crossed from Britain into France to liberate Europe from the Germans. That was the beginning of that.
In other words, whoop Germans' butt.
Well, a lot of Americans and British got mowed down. Unfortunately, they said that the sea was red with blood. It was horrible.
Because the boats were taking a lot of the
You know that they had German machine guns positioned where the Americans were landing, and those Germans were just mowing down the Americans. Those bastards. Even though I got some German in me.
I have German Dutch in me. The museum.
We have German in us or not, and yes, the Germans are wonderful people, but they were horrible in World War II.
And in World War I.
Well, that's debatable. They were the scapegoat in World War I. World War I was more complicated than that. Germany got the blame.
This is the only museum in the United States dedicated to this event, which involved more than 1 million Americans. The Andrew Higgins
I was about to mention that.
factory would now house the museum, built ships.
They built the landing craft.
World War II, including some of the very vehicles that transported infantrymen to Normandy.
Infantrymen.
Yeah.
Infantry is like, that's foot soldiers in the military.
A museum visit can be an all-day or multi-day affair. After all, it might take that long to absorb the enormous collection of exhibits documenting the Allied victory in World War II, not to mention exploring final mission, the USS Thames.
Spell it, baby.
The USS Thames submarine experience.
Oh, all right.
Sunday through Thursday, 9:35 a.m. through 4:35 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9:35 a.m. to 5:35 p.m. 5,000 per person, but it could be more now.
Right. Michael Paul was not at Normandy, but he was in the Battle of the Bulge, which was, I think, that following winter. Yeah, the late winter of 1944 was the Battle of the Bulge, and that was the one Michael Paul participated in. And very rarely could I get him to talk about it because
most military people don't like talking about it.
No, they don't.
Not unless they want to. You don't
And
ask them.
yeah, he saw some horrible stuff that it scarred him for life. Not long before he was an old man. He was in his 90s, and I was visiting them. And the night before, he said he had a dream that he was at the front lines, and it was like 60 or 70 something years later, and he had a nightmare about it. And he woke up on the line. He said he was just dreaming about that he was at the front lines. Yeah. So it was hard to get him to talk about it.
Which allows visitors to relive
Relive.
the last epic battle of the most successful submarine in World War II, or watching the Missile 4D Tom Hanks narrative documentary Behind All Boundaries. Sunday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. $5 a person or more in the RELATIVELY relatively new 250-seat Solemn Victory
Spell it, baby.
Solomon Victory Theater. If you have time, consider a meal at the on-site restaurant, the American Sector, daily 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Or did they say what they serve there?
No.
Oh, alright.
Or an old-fashioned dinner theater experience in the Stage Door Canteen.
Wow.
I would like to try that one.
I would too. When you think of American food, what food comes to mind quickest to you?
I don't know.
For me, it'd be fried chicken.
Scrap House, S-C-R-A-P, Scrap House.
And that's, if they would have that at that first restaurant you mentioned, that's probably what I would order.
As you drive past the enormous Ernest and Memorial Convention Center, keep an eye out for the colorful sculpture that simply known as Scrap House. Completed by artist Sally Heller in 2008, and fashioned from ordinary materials and recycled elements: wood, wallpaper, oil drums, solar lights. The outdoor installation resembles a dendum tree that cradles a ramshackle house. Not surprisingly, this powerful yet whimsical piece is meant to serve as a monument to Mother Nature's unpredictable powers. Inspired as Heller was by the remnants of houses and other cultural debris left in the wake of Hurricane Katrina in 2005. So I can turn this page. Nice. St. Patrick's Church. Not far from Lafayette Square and Gallagher Hall, St. Patrick's Church was the first place of worship built in the city's American sector. The sector was named because of it's where 19th century Americans built their homes and businesses in order to distinguish their lifestyles.
Distinguish, baby. That means to stand out or to
their lifestyles from those of the Creoles residing in the French Quarter. New Orleans originally settlement blessed by Bishop
Antoine Blanc.
Antoine Blanc in 1838 and completed by 1840. St. Patrick's Church is one of the few structures left in a disaster once filled with magnificent mansions and high-end Mar
And what's the address of it, baby? I'm trying to think.
for which one?
That church you're talking about.
724 Camp Street.
Oh, all right.
Mercantile Stores.
Mercantile. I'm sorry.
Mercantile Stores. When the parish was first established in 1833, the area was known as the Farnborough Street St. Mary. The church itself developed from a need for the Americans, many of whom were Irish, to worship in a structure as noteworthy as the French Quarter St. Louis Cathedral. In the early 1850s, it was the stunning church where Bishop Blanc received the palm as the first.
And then they got out of mass and went to the ballroom and drank a bunch of whiskey.
First,
and I can say that because I'm part Irish.
Our Bishop of New Orleans. Through severely damaged by a hurricane in 1915, the church has since been
Spell it, baby.
Renovated several times today. This national historic landmark is celebrated not only for its historic signature, but also for its lavishly ornamented interior, high-value vaulted ceilings, majestic paintings, and fine stained glass windows. Yeah, you ain't famous as the St. Louis Cathedral, though. Sorry to tell you that much, church. I'm sorry.
I could make another joke. The ones coming out of the St. Louis Cathedral go and drink champagne in the bar rooms.
They're still going go. And the
ones coming out of St. Patrick, as I said before, are going to the bar room and drink whiskey.
They're still going.
Do you get the joke, though?
They're still going to go get drunk.
But do you get, because the French drink champagne and the Irish drink whiskey?
Yes, baby. They're still going to go drink to get drunk.
I think the French can handle their alcohol a little bit better than the Irish can, though.
I have French in me too, I think. And I don't like drinking.
Now these Cajun French, that's a different story. But when they get drunk, they fighting mad. When the Irish get drunk, they fighting mad. When the Parisian or the Metropolitan French, I don't know what they're like drunk. I've never witnessed that.
Neither have I, and I don't want to know. Babe, can you help me with this word?
Sure, what is it?
B-R-E-V-A-R-D.
Brevard?
Brevard Clap House? Ever heard of that place?
No. What's a clap house?
I'm asking you. You're older.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, let's read about it then.
If it was a brothel, you could get the clap.
Hold on. There. Okay, long celebrated as a haven for writers.
Oh, okay. Well, there might have been some screwing going on in there then.
New Orleans has inspired several famous American authors, not the least of which is Anne Rice, whose best-selling novel Interview with a Vampire in 1976 put her on the literal map. Well, and they got a show called Interview with a Vampire I want to see.
Okay.
And I want to read her book, Interview with a Vampire.
Wasn't there a Today Show host named Anne Rice?
I'm
not getting something mixed up.
I'm not sure.
Katie Couric and Anne Rice. Why does that sound like... I don't know.
Born in New Orleans on October 4th, 1941, she lived in the Big Easy for the first 16 years of her life. Returning in 1978.
I'll tell you another story about famous journalists, but right, finish your thought.
She eventually moved into the Bavard Clubhouse steadily Greek revival
Yeah, you got it.
in Italiante.
Spell that word.
Italianate.
I don't know that word.
Mansion in the Garden District. Okay, go on.
So my aunt, the one that you met,
They gave us the raisin drunks.
Wait, what?
The raisins in the rum or alcohol.
No, that's my great aunt, but no, not that. My aunt that lives in Metairie, in what was my grandma's house.
Oh, Aunt June.
Yeah, she used to sit with the elderly for a living.
Like me?
Yeah, she did the same kind of work you used to do. And there was this elderly lady that she took care of. And this elderly lady knew Cokie Roberts. And Cokie Roberts was an NBC News journalist, like famous, like national news. And she called for her one time, and my Aunt June picked up the phone and had no idea who it was. And the lady she was sitting was in the bathroom or something, said Cokie Roberts just called, and I don't think my aunt knew who that was. But when you said Anne Rice, I think there was a Today Show host journalist also by the name of Anne Rice. I don't know if it's the same person or not, though. So that's what made me think of that. And actually, my grandma June, because my grandma June had a daughter named June, or my grandpa named his first daughter after his wife. Okay, but my grandma also sat with the elderly, even though she was schizophrenic, and that's where I got it from. And I wouldn't be surprised if my grandpa, her husband, was some form of autistic, and that's where I got that from. I would not be surprised. Yes, I've got both. Ouch.
Built in 1857 by James Correll and Charles Pry, the stunning sculpture was first home to a wealthy merchant named Albert Hamilton Bavard and was later acquired by Reverend Emerald Clapp. Rice called the Bavard Clubhouse home from 1989 to 2004. During the time, it served as inspiration for Mayfair Manor, the fictional home of Rice Mayfair witches. Rice, who became a fixture to the neighborhood, also bought and restored St. Elizabeth's Orphanage at 1314 Napoleon Avenue, a massive former boarding house and girls' orphanage built in 1856. The Rice had sold their orphanage and relocated to California. She will always be considered one of the city's finest literature assets. The House of Borough, Victorian Mansion, and Wedding Chapel. In the corner of St. Charles and Jackson Avenue, you'll come to one of the small but noteworthy attractions, especially if you favor miniatures. Originally built in 1850 by George Washington Squirrels, the House of Borough was converted by William Reynard 3 decades later into the immense three-story mansion that exists today. With its original woodwork, black marble fireplace, and ornated chandeliers, the house is a remarkable example of Victorian chart, art, art, art chart, art chart, and interior design, which literally justifies its popularity among the wedding parties and other celebrities. The tour, which accepts walk-ins, not only highlights the living quarters and furniture of an exceptional Garden District residence, but also offers a look at the numerous dolls, miniatures, dollhouses, and cues and other collectibles that fill the rooms on the lower and upper floors. Architect. Got the word out, but I'm past that sentence. Lafayette Cemetery number 1. Babe, can you give me something to drink, please?
Huh?
Can you give me something to drink, please?
What would you like?
I think I still have some Kool-Aid in my one drink that's in the kitchen. My Hey Boo drink. My one Hey Boo.
Alright, baby, I'm coming.
Established in 1833, Lafayette Cemetery number 1 is one of the only.
Where is it, baby?
My Hey Boo, it's in the kitchen.
I'll make some more Kool-Aid. Hey, you know, it'd be a lit video if we did it together. Discussing the stories I wrote. We could do that one day.
Yeah. Okay, Lafayette Cemetery number 1. Established in 1833, Lafayette Cemetery number 1 is one of only a few cities of the dead in New Orleans that are relatively safe to explore, at least during the day. Bordered by Petunia Street, Washington Avenue, Coliseum Street, and 6th Street in the Garden District, the cemetery is especially popular with fans of Anne Rice, The Vampire Chronicle trilogy, and features in the movie Interview with a Vampire in 1994. The Lafayette Cemetery number 1 was once part of a plantation owned by the Davis family. As a cemetery, it also has been non-static and non-denominational. You'll see the tombs of American merchants, African families, and German, Irish, Italian, English, Scottish, and Dutch immigrants, not to mention several Union and Confederate soldiers. If visiting alone, note that the office is at 1427 6th Street. Taking a properly vetted guide tour is preferably, especially for history buffs. Tours are offered by various companies, most notably Silver Cemeteries, SOC, 501 Basin Street, number 3C, 504 525 3377, www.saveourcemeteries.org. $15 an adult, free under 12, but it probably went up some. A non-profit organization that preserves the city's burial grounds. The 1 hour walks occur daily at 10 a.m., which means that it's still possible to experience the cemetery on Sunday, which is normally closed to the public. Whether you come alone or with a group, please be respectful. This is an active cemetery that still welcomes mourners. Note that this is closed on certain holidays. Opera Guild House. Built in 1859, this eye-catching Greek Revival-style mansion has become the home of the Women's Guild of New Orleans Opera Association in 1965. It's particularly noted for its small octagon tower, though the color scheme all white with dark green shutters, plus the manicured lawn and wrought iron fencing all make a lovely photograph. Furnished with an 18th and 19th century iron and American furniture, artwork, and collectibles, this well-appointed garden district home is furnished site of wedding ceremonies and receptions. Public tours are available on Mondays from early September to late May. St. Mary's Assumption Church. Despite suffering damage during Hurricane Katrina, the regal St. Mary's Assumption Church is still gorgeous. Construction began between 1858 and 1866. This massive German Beauregard Revival style structure boasts an incredible interactive facade with several stunning arched stained glass windows. The interior is equally impressive with a high vaulted ceiling ornated columns with a hanging carved altar reportedly imported from Prior to the American Civil War, the Garden District and the Irish Channel composed a separate town called Lafayette. In the early 1840s, when numerous German and Irish immigrants, many of whom were Catholic, arrived in this French-speaking area, Bishop Blanc asked a German-speaking Bernardinist priest, Father Peter Czackert, to minister to them. In turn, he rented a dance hall for service, eventually a frame church. The first St. Mary's Assumption was constructed on Josephine Street, becoming the state's first Catholic church for Germans. By the late 1850s, Baby, I need help with the word.
Alright, I'm coming. What?
Redemptorist.
Redemptorist? Put it. What is it? What's the context, baby?
By the late 1850s, the Redemptorist had built 3 permanent churches.
I guess that's a religious order. I don't know.
All Alphanius serving the Irish parishioners. St. Mary's Assumption, which replaced the frame church and served German parishioners. And their Rome.
Spell it.
Romanesque.
Romanesque. That's a
Romanesque.
That's an architectural style.
Notre Dame de Bon Secours, intent for the French-speaking Catholics, but ultimately damaged by a 1918 hurricane and demolished in 1925.
Wow.
Today you can attend Mass at St. Mary's or simply listen to the wonderful bells. at nearby St. Alphonsus Alphonsus Church, which we're not going to, by the way.
Not going to any of that.
2025 Constant Street. You can appreciate historical art, ornate. Ornate.
That's like, well, it has the same root word as ornament.
Ornate architect and a display about the city's Irish Catholic experience. Make time for the nearby St. Law's Welcome Center and Native National Shrine of Francis Xavier Seagulls. 919 Josephine Street.
I'm thinking of a certain rap song. Actually, the rap group that sang it was from New Orleans.
Okay. A museum dedicated to the heroic, ever cheerful
Spell the word?
the same word we can't pronounce. Rede.
Oh, okay. All right.
Priests who came to New Orleans during the dreaded yellow fever epidemic.
All right.
Ministered tirelessly at St. Mary's and ultimately succumbed to the fever in 1867. Besides featuring a self-guided tour of the exhibits, the museum presents a short information film and houses a small gift shop. Yeah. I am sorry, but New Orleans, I lived here my whole freaking life. Y'all got some weird ass names for
Spell it, baby. I'll see if I can.
Benthuye. Wait.
Say that again.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Van.
Oh, that's actually a Dutch word, baby.
And I have Dutch in me. I can't pronounce Dutch.
Well, Dutch is a weird language, but...
I'm going to try my best to pronounce.
Benthuizen? I don't know, but that looks like a Dutch Jewish word.
Benthuizen Elms Mansion and Garden. I'm sorry if I butchered your language. I am sorry. I am trying my hardest to say these words as American. I screw up American words.
If we went to the Netherlands, though...
I screw those up!
Wait. We would not be happy in the Netherlands if we went to a coffee shop. You seriously don't know why? People could smoke weed in coffee shops over there.
Oh, hell no.
We would be... Oh, God. Imagine,
Yeah.
we would be sitting down for a cup of coffee.
No, bye, see ya.
And someone blazed up right there and be like, because weed makes both of us sick, mentally and physically. So, it would not be a pleasant experience for us.
Yeah, bye, see ya. Don't want to be ya. Okay, let me do this Benthuizen Elms Mansion and Gardens. Amid the many elegant buildings along the St. Charles Avenue stands this grand Italianated style mansion, which was built in 1869 for Winston Van Benthuizen.
So it was built around the same time Schwegmann's was started.
A New Yorker who moved to New Orleans in the
Then he probably is Dutch.
1840s during the American Civil War. Van Benthuizen, who was a relative of President Jefferson Davis by marriage, became an officer in the Confederate Army, nicknamed the Yankee in Gray.
Wow.
I am so sorry, guys. He earned promises in New Orleans as a wine and tobacco merchant, as well as president of a streetcar company. Van Benthuizen died in his home in 1901. 3 decades later, the mansion served as the German consul or German. It could be German or Dutch. Into the
Spell the word, baby.
Commencement.
Spell it slower. I'm sorry, baby.
Commencement.
Commencement, I think.
Commencement of World War II.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right.
In 1952, the home was purchased by John Elms Sr. I can pronounce Elms real good. Who at the time was the owner of the largest coin-operated amusement company in the South.
And what was his last name?
Elms.
Interesting. Okay.
Who was at the time was the owner of the largest coin-operated amusement company in the South. Following his death in 1968, his relatives began hosting private functions here. A practice continued today by the third generation of the Elms family. The picturesque home is filled with antique furnishings, gold, sconces, SCONCES.
I'm not sure what that is. I've seen that word before, but
And ornamental, CORNICES. Concerns.
say it. Spell it again, baby.
CORNICES. And
I never heard that word.
and is the site of weddings, corporate parties, and other social occasions. It's also available for private group tours. I am sorry if I butchered anything that's Italian, German, Dutch, or any other language. I cannot speak. Or Spanish. I don't speak. I'm trying my hardest to speak Spanish.
At least you're trying, baby.
I know a little Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo está? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Wait, I don't know what nueve is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. I don't know.
With DOS, does it have a C prompt?
I don't know.
That was a computer joke.
Uptown. And no, we're not doing the Uptown Funk.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah, we ain't doing the Uptown Funk dance.
You know, Magic. Wait. Magic 101.9 has a version of that song, and the part where they keep saying "Uptown Funk You Up," that part of the track is just completely eliminated on Magic 101.9's version, because it sounds like they're saying something else "you up," even though it's FUNK. Well, do I have to paint a picture of what it sounds like? Okay. And of course, I guess Magic 101.9 is trying to be a little bit family friendly, so they changed some lyrics around on the songs they play.
Below Magazine Street lies 58-acre Audubon Zoo, a significant part of the larger Audubon Park. Established in 1914, it now contains historic buildings, notable sculptures, and nearly 2,000 animals from around the world.
I do want to go to that again. It's been 20.
Years.
It's been 24 years since I last been there. It's been too long.
It's been years for me. This relatively.
I want to see the gorillas.
Yeah, and you ain't going to see my sister either. She went to the zoo
You don't
in
have
Texas.
You don't have a sis. Oh, your stepsister, right?
Orangutan sister. You ain't gonna see her.
Wait, I don't follow what you're saying. Who are you talking about?
I have an orangutan sister named Ibu.
Oh, okay.
You ain't gonna see her at Audubon. She moved to the zoo in Texas.
Oh.
Which zoo in Texas? I do not know.
I don't know either.
This relatively small zoo is a wonderful place to stroll, watch the animals, antics, especially in mild weather, and explore variant gardens rife with nearly every species of flora known to Louisiana. This award-winning Louisiana Swamp exhibit is the next best thing to taking a swamp tour, and even better in one respect.
I want to go to the aquarium again.
You're
It's been a while. Last time I was at the aquarium was in December of 2013. It's been a while.
years since I've been to the aquarium,
We're going to both have to go there.
insectarium, and the zoo. You're guaranteed to see marsh wildlife up close and personal. The swamp exhibit is an actual recreation of a Depression-era Cajun swamp settlement, complete with the old bayou shacks and a trapper's cottage.
Oh, Belle, that reminds me of Pierre Port there.
Besides learning about alligators, red foxes, and other critters, you see Spanish moss, cypress knees, and other flora common in the swamp. It's hard to leave this part of the zoo. The
Spell it, baby.
the white alligators.
Albino. Wait,
Albino.
that's at the aquarium, baby. That's not at the zoo, huh? I remember an albino alligator at the aquarium, not the zoo.
I think they have an albino alligator at the zoo
Wow.
too. Never cease to amaze and never frisky river otters in this amusement.
Oh, yeah.
Another highlight.
I had a crappy phone back then. It had a camera, but a very crappy one. And I tried getting a picture of the river otters, and guess who I tried sending it to? Emily. Because she had this joke that our dog looked like an otter, so I was trying to get a picture of the otter and send it to her to make her laugh.
Know who your ex-wife looks like? A Nutri-Rat. I am
When did you see a picture of her? Wait, what's going on? Where'd you see a picture of her?
I think I snooped on her profile one day.
Oh, okay.
Or I saw your ex-wife's mom's Facebook page. Your mother-in-law, and your ex-wife both look like an Nutri-Rat. I'm sorry. And I don't like Nutri-Rats.
Don't insult Nutri-Rats.
I don't like Nutri-Rats.
Well, one of her sisters looks like a monkey. I said that for years.
Don't insult monkeys. Monkeys are intelligent.
We shouldn't be saying that. God could punish us, baby. We got to... Well, they didn't do you any wrong, but they did me a lot of wrong. But still, I got to forgive, and I pray to God to help me forgive them every day. I do. Even though... They made me miserable for years. But, come on, that's in the past.
Another highlight of the zoo is the Jaguar Jungle exhibit, which recreates the Mayan rainforest and houses two dignified yet powerful jaguars along with toucans, fire monkeys, and sloths. Or do you want me to say that your ex-wife and ex-mother-in-law look like sloths?
No, don't insult a sloth.
The display features realistic reproductions of the stone carvings at famous Chichen.
Spell it, baby.
Chichen with the little hyphen over the E.
That's some East Asian. And what's the third word?
The second word.
C-H-E. Say it again, baby. I'm sorry.
Chichen with the hyphen over the E.
All right. And what was the third word in that? Or was just those two?
That one word.
That sounds like a Chinese or a Vietnamese word.
That's a Mayan word, I think.
No, maybe, I don't know.
Spanish word.
Oh, okay.
Is Aztec and Copan or
Do they have any cougars?
Mm-hmm.
No, the cougars would be in the ballroom at closing time.
Oh my. freaking
wait,
video.
wait, I didn't say nothing wrong.
Baby, I'm recording.
Yeah, I know, I wanted to add that humor into the video, baby. Do you get the joke at least?
Yes, baby. Cougars, the animal.
Uh-huh. But also, an older woman who picks up a younger man in a barroom. Now you get it, and usually that happens around closing time.
Oh my god. Kids especially love to pet free-roaming goats and sheep in the spacious Watoto Walk navigated.
That sounds like an African word, in all
the
seriousness.
44-foot high combo course. $15 a person, but it was free the last time I was there. And ride the carousel, $2 a person. Probably went up. Which features 60 figures of endangered species. Daily feedings are a big draw, especially involving the giraffes and gators. If you're taking the streetcar, St. Charles streetcar, and disembark at the Audubon Park stop for both the park and the zoo. If you're coming by car, the zoo has plenty of free parking, although the lot and nearby grassy areas can fill up quickly during annual events like Soul Fest or Boo at the Zoo. Note that during the fall, winter, and spring, the Audubon Zoo has shorter operating hours and is closed most Mondays. Loyola University, New Orleans. That's a freaking university! Who wants to go there? Well, except for school. Not me.
You know what that university once owned at one time, right? WWL, the radio station and the television station. In fact, the call letters WWL stands for Worldwide Loyola.
Opposite Verdant.
Spell it.
Verdant. Verdant.
Yeah, I think you got it right.
Audubon Park stands Loyola University, Tulane University, most prominent neighborhood. Established by the
Jesuits. That's a group of priests.
Order
monks.
in 1904, Loyola College. The school began as a long time in coming. The Jesuits were among the earliest settlers of New Orleans. As a Jesuit chaplain.
Spell it. Oh, chaplain. All right.
Even accomplished Pierre Lamont Sir de Bienville.
Okay, yeah, the explorer.
On his second expedition on the region, credited with introducing the surname sugarcane crop to Louisiana. The Jesuits were sadly banned from the French colonies in 1763. After the Jesuits' order was restored, however, the Bishop of New Orleans breached the French Jesuits to establish a Jesuit college here. What does beseeched mean?
Spell it.
Beseeched.
Oh.
What does beseeched mean?
To beg.
So the Bishop of New Orleans begged the French Jesuits to establish
I guess.
In 1849, despite concerns about the city's yellow fever epidemic, Jesuit priests opened the College of the Immaculate.
Spell it.
IMMACULAT. Immaculate Conception at Baronne and Common Streets in what is now the CBD. The college became a beloved institution. Noble Catholic leaders still long for a school and a less congregated area.
Spell it.
CONGESTED.
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 So that's
area.
probably why they moved out of downtown and went uptown, because whatever traffic they had back then was probably bad too. So they went upriver where it was more sparse.
Following the 1884 World Institution and Continental Expedition in Audubon Park, it became clear that the nearby Faucher plantation, which was owned by Paul Faucher, the son-in-law of Etienne de
Spell it.
Etienne.
I don't know how to pronounce that word. I
Etienne
know that's
de Boer, New Orleans' first mayor, would be an ideal location for a school. By 1904, Loyola College had opened along with a Catholic college prep academy. In 1911, the Jesuit schools in New Orleans were
Spell it.
reorganized,
Okay, you got it.
and all college prep students were sent to the College of an Immaculate Conception, paving the way for Loyola to become a full-fledged private university in 1912.
Okay.
Over the years, it grew and expanded, eventually becoming one of the most well-respected universities in the South. Open to all faiths, and currently nurturing roughly 5,000 students annually. Today, visitors are free to wander among the school's
I got another commentary about the
red bricks buildings built in the Tudor Gothic style. It's also not a bad place to catch concerts and sporting events.
So they sold the television and the radio station, WWL, and the money they got from the proceeds of selling those stations, they put in the university's endowment fund.
Okay. Milton H. Ladder.
And actually, both the television station and the radio station, that's WWL TV is like the most powerful television station in the Gulf South, and WWL AM is what they call a clear channel station, which means it puts out 50,000 watts of power day and night. And at night, well, remember when we were evacuating to Talladega? And that's only because my car antenna's broken. But when we were on top of a hill, we could pick up WWL, but when we were in a valley, we couldn't. But there's, on any good night, you can be all the way up in Canada and pick up WWL AM.
Yeah.
Because of the power it puts out.
Yeah, Milton H. Ladder Memorial Library. Besides being a delightful place to relax for a while, the art-filled Milton H. Ladder Memorial Library is a much-loved architectural landmark built in 1907. This enormous Italianated Beaux Arts mansion was home to a variety of curious residents, including Margaret Clark, an American stage and silent film star known for The Pirates, Prince and the Pauper, and Uncle Tom's Cabin. Following Clark's death, the gorgeous uptown mansion was purchased by the latter.
Spell that word, baby?
Latter.
Ladder. In other words, ladder is a fancy word for later.
Family who bequeathed it.
Spell that word?
Bequeathed.
Say it again. I'm sorry, baby. My hearing is... Spell it again, please.
Hold on, let me get into better light. For Bequeathed.
Bequeathed. That's
Bequeathed.
That's like if you leave something to someone, like when you die. It's like putting someone in your will.
It to the city in 1948. Intended to communicate the latter's son, who died in World War II. The stunning structure became a branch of the New Orleans Public Library and has beckoned both
What's the? Well, let me know when you get to the address.
areas and architectural
Spell the word, baby.
Aficionados.
Aficionado. That's someone who's like I would be considered a flashlight aficionado or a scanner aficionado. It's somebody who's super interested in a certain topic.
Ever since. You want to know the address?
Yes, please.
5120 St. Charles Avenue.
We're gonna have to go to that. You still got your New Orleans library card, huh?
It expired. I have to renew
How
it.
the hell did? Well, then mine must have expired too. Well, wait. We only got them last year. All right, I got mine last year, and you got yours a few months after I got mine. It's only good for a year.
I am not sure.
All right, we'll look into that. But and you said it was where again?
5120 St. Charles Avenue.
All right, I'm gonna have to see what block number that is, because I'd like to go to that library.
St. Charles streetcar. No one should leave New Orleans. Oh, did I tell you the story about when Vicky thought a streetcar was going to hit us?
Yeah, y'all.
That was funny as hell.
Yeah, weren't y'all on Leak Avenue or something, or somewhere around there? Or
we were on one of the streets going pick up some food for
weren't
Uber.
y'all uptown, like going towards the Jefferson line or whatever?
No, we were on.
Or am I thinking? No, we were there when you told me that story.
Yeah, we were going towards Canal Street.
Oh, all right. So y'all were going towards Canal Street. Y'all were downtown.
Yeah, and Vicky was going to say, "Holly, we're going to get hit. Holly, we're going to get hit." I'm like, Vicky, no, we're not. No, we're not, Vicky. It's going in the same direction we're going. Holly, we're going to get hit. We're going to get hit, Holly. I'm like, no, we're not. No, we're not. It's going in the same direction we're going.
Oh, one time while you were in class, I saw a streetcar on the, it was a Canal Street streetcar hit a vehicle.
Wow.
I didn't actually see it happen, but, I was at the, Mid-City Library when it happened. Man, those were the days. I'd, had some money on me. I'd go walk. There was a Walgreens nearby. I'd walk from the library to Walgreens and get me a couple of Mr. Good bars. I'm being bad.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be eating that. Too much of that. Got my diabetes.
Under control.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is well under control. That's how I'm able to eat pretty much what I want. But the metformin's a miracle drug.
No one should leave New Orleans without taking a ride on one of the city's famous OFT photographic streetcars. While there are presumably 5 separate lines, the St. Charles, the Loyola, Uptown, the Canal Cemeteries, the Canal City Park Museum, and the riverfront.
That was the one that got hit, the Canal Cemeteries line. Or that hit a car. Because how does that work? It was the Canal Cemetery, so.
The most famous by far, most beloved by residents and tourists alike is the St. Charles line, which dates back to 1835 and has been featured in numerous films over the years, including Runaway Jury 2003, The Skeleton Key 2005.
There was actually a streetcar along Metairie Road when Metairie Road was the main drag, which you know, at the parish line, Metairie Road turns into City Park Avenue.
Yes, baby.
Yeah, but there was, and it went all the way to, because Metairie Road would transition to Jefferson Highway. And so from like Kenner all the way to the Orleans Jefferson line, there was a streetcar, Jefferson Highway, and I think it's around Shrewsbury it would transition to Metairie Road. I wish they had more of those back then. And I wish the streetcars, instead of just streetcars, I wish some of the lines would be upgraded to a light rail system. Like, it would be like a train, but with multiple cars. But build it to the same gauge that the streetcars are built. Okay, I'm talking too much about trains.
Because of the line's persistence on the National Register of the Historic Places, the olive green
Yeah.
Pearly.
Spell the word, baby.
Hold on, wait. The olive green. Perley.
Okay. Keep on. I'm not sure what that word is.
Thomas streetcars currently in use must be preserved as they look in 1923.
Wow.
Which makes for a historical riding experience, complete with old-fashioned wooden seats. The St. Charles streetcar takes passengers from Canal Street as the lower edges of the CBD, past the historical homes, restaurants, and attractions of Oak Shade Street.
Of what street?
Hold on. Complete with old-fashioned wooden seats, the St. Charles streetcar takes passengers from Canal Street at the lower edge of the CBD,
Right.
past the historic homes, restaurants, and attractions of Oak Shade, St. Charles Avenue, including the Garden District, Loyola and Tulane University, and Audubon Park, to the restaurants, boutiques, and residential areas of South Carrollton Avenue.
If you were to buy an RTA pass, can you ride the streetcars unlimited, or does that only apply to the buses?
You can ride the RTA.
But right, just the buses or the streetcars too?
Both.
If you buy it. Oh, hot damn! I'm getting ideas.
The line terminates at South Claiborne Avenue, a transfer point for the city buses line, a one-way ride on the St. Charles line, which runs 24 hours daily. That's about 45 minutes and is well worth its time.
We're gonna have to do that one day.
Or we can buy like a 3-day
Pass.
pass.
Yeah.
That will allow us to ride.
We're gonna do that.
Touro Synagogue. SYNA.
Yeah, that's a Jewish place of worship. Well, Touro, and also the hospital Touro Infirmary is named after him. That's in Uptown. We've been there. Remember, okay, so like University has all the harmful weirdos in the emergency room, but Touro has the harmless weirdos in the emergency room. Remember, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Remember the crazy woman that was carrying like a walking stick? It was like one of those, and she was dressed. How was she dressed? She thought she was a shepherd or something. Remember?
Yes, baby.
So,
with a dome sanctuary, stunning stained glass windows, and a tremendous
spell the word.
organ, Touro Synagogue is one of the city's most impressive religious edifice.
I'm not sure what that word exactly means.
Its history stretches back to 1828 when Congregation Congregation
Congregation
Gates of Mercy was founded on North Rampart Street, becoming the first synagogue outside of America's original 13 colonies.
Wow.
Years later, the
synagogue
adopted the name Touro Synagogue in honor of their benefactor, a Jewish merchant philanthropist named Judah Touro, who spent much of his life in New Orleans. Besides being a benefactor of Jewish, Catholic, and Protestant charities, he also served in the War of 1812 and founded Touro Infirmary, which still
that's what I was talking about. And,
exists today.
Yeah, because I brought you there. I originally wanted to bring you to University where they had a dentist on staff when you were having those tooth problems, and the emergency room was so swamped with patients that they sent us to Touro Infirmary, and there was that weird woman with the walking stick, and she thought she was a shepherd or something. Uh,
Toro Synagogue joined the Reform movement in 1891, and the current sanctuary designed by the local architect Emily Whale was dedicated
Dedicated, you got it.
on New Year's Day of 1909. Visitors are welcome to venture inside PARTICULARLY
Particularly,
for events like Jazz Fest Shabbat,
that's their word for Sabbath.
a worship service that combines Judaism and jazz.
Wow, that's a combination.
Free and open to the public, this popular Friday even Shabbat.
Yeah, that's the word for Sabbath, baby.
Service usually occurs during the first weekend of the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival and features some of the city's most famous jazz musicians, including Alan
Spell the word?
Toussaint.
Toussaint. Remember I wrote a story about a man named Ezra Lee Toussaint? Well, you know about that story.
Yes, baby.
Well,
Robert Thomas and Marcel Ball. Marcy Ball. Tulane University. Wait, that's the one where William went to school, right?
No, he went to UNO, huh?
Yeah, UNO.
UNO. Two way opposite ends of the city. Tulane's right by Loyola. I went on Tulane's campus once.
Tulane University. Whether you drove or hopped aboard the historic streetcar, you're sure to spot Tulane University on the lake side of St. Charles Avenue, adjacent to Loyola University. I went on Tulane or Loyola University to help Vicky deliver food.
Oh, okay.
This private, non-sectarian.
Non-sectarian. In other words, it's a private university, but it's secular.
Research University began as the Medical College of Louisiana in 1834, the South's second oldest medical school. The need for it particularly arose from the city's constant struggles to contain deadly yellow fever epidemics.
I'm trying to figure out how the Tulane Hospital was, the old Tulane Hospital on Tulane Avenue, if it was named after the school, or if it was named that because it was on Tulane Avenue, or... It's a neat looking building. Have you ever been
I don't know.
on Tulane Hospital's campus? It's really impressive.
In 1847, it became the University of Louisiana, a public institution, but an enormous bequest by wealthy New Orleans Paul Tulane allowed the university to be recognized as a private university in 1884 and ultimately expanded into much more comprehensive facility. It was renamed Tulane in honor of this financial gift, which TOTALED total more than $1 million in dollars in land.
I was about to say, was that the endowment fund but
cash
no.
and securities. In 1886, the women-only H. Sophie Newcomb Memorial College was established as part of the university 8 years later. The entire school moved to its permanent campus on St. Charles Avenue.
All right.
Over the ensuing decades, Tulane became one of the top schools in the South. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina resulted in the merger of Newcomb College with Tulane. Today, the university has approximately or around 13,500 students.
Wow.
And the 110-acre Uptown campus
Encompasses, maybe?
encompasses more than 80 buildings.
Wow.
The older EDIFICES.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
EDIFICES.
Edifices?
Edifices stand along or near St. Charles and include several. It's the word again we can't pronounce.
Say it again, spell it.
ROMANESQUE.
Romanesque.
Romanesque structures of considerable art.
Spell the word, baby.
Art, culture, or ARCHIT.
Architecture.
Architecture acclaim. A pretty campus for a stroll. It's also popular for its yearly schedule of affordable concerts and plays, including those affordable during the New Orleans Shakespeare Festival at Tulane every summer.
That would be interesting to go to. The New Orleans Shakespeare Festival. I want to bring you to that, baby. Since we're both fans of British literature.
Ursuline Academy. Established in 1727 by a dozen Ursuline nuns from France and part of the Sisters of the Order of St. Ursula. The Ursuline Academy is distinctive for two reasons. The country's oldest continuously operating school for girls and the oldest Catholic school in the United States.
There was a girl who graduated with me, but she originally went to Ursuline, and she transferred to my high school because of Katrina. She was nice to me.
Although the academics' first permanent location was the old Ursuline convent in the French Quarter, it relocated without interruption to Dauphine Street in 1824 before finally settling at its current spot near Loyola University in 1912.
Well, wait, I thought Ursuline Academy was in the 9th Ward. Not the lower 9th Ward, but the upper 9th Ward. I must be thinking of something else.
In the 1920s, a guided statue was erected in the chapel here. The National Shrine of Our Lady of Prominent Successor, 2701 State Street, which was constructed in 1828, commemorates the miraculous military victory of the Battle of New Orleans that took place during the War of 1812. In 1976, the shrine was declared a National Historic Landmark. Every year on January 8th, Our Lady and her infant are honored by the Academy. I am Archbishop of New Orleans during a splendid high mass. Terrain in Mid-City. Basin St. Station.
Wait, say that word in Mid-City?
Treme.
That's Treme, baby.
Treme.
Yeah.
Basin St. Station. The massive
Basin Street.
Basin Street Station.
And actually, I got ancestry from around there. My grandpa, not the one that served in World War II, which he was of that age, but he was exempt from military service because of his flat feet and because of other stuff. But he was in a band called the Basin Street 7. That's pretty cool. But I think he was from Irish Channel.
The massive building situated at Basin and St. Louis Street looks as though two buildings have merged into one. The first made of red bricks and the second a more modern canary yellow. Despite its incongruous
Spell the word, baby.
INCONGROR. Wait, hold on. INCONGRUOUS.
Incongruous.
Incongruous appearance. Basin Street Station serves as a pedestal gateway to the historic Faubourg Tremaine neighborhood. Situated next to St. Louis Cathedral, No. 1, which is famous as Marie Laveau's supposed resting place. The former New Orleans Terminal Company Southern Railroad freight.
Boom, boom.
Yes,
boom.
baby.
No, because that became part of Norfolk Southern. I'm sorry, baby.
Freight office building has been newly remodeled and ultimately transformed into a cultured center. Built in 1904 in the neoclassical style, the original building has been repainted as the facade of the new.
Let me know when you want me to put my commentary on that.
Particular new structure. Go ahead.
So, the reason why it's called Union, the current train station in New Orleans is called Union Passenger Terminal, has nothing to do with Union Pacific, but most railroad companies are privately owned, and when there were a bunch of privately owned railroads instead of the 6 major ones that they have now, each city had several train stations for each railroad company. But then they got the idea of having a Union Depot or a Union Passenger Terminal. And that Basin Street was for the New Orleans Terminal Railroad, or what became the Southern and what eventually became the Norfolk Southern. But every railroad had its own station in each major city. But then they got the idea of having a Union Station where all the railroad passenger services had trains that converged right there. And of course, Union Passenger Terminal was built in 1949. And I'm sorry.
It's okay. The first level is the one intended for visitors. Here you'll find a staff.
I'd like to see that, by the way.
Visitor and information center, a walk-in tour kiosk, educational kiosk, a coffee shop, and a gift shop. Not a bad place to start before beginning your neighborhood wandering. 501 Basin Street.
We're definitely going to go to that.
Bayou St. John, or is it Bayou Street John?
No, this time it's Saint.
Bayou St. John runs along the eastern side of Windsor Boulevard from Lafayette Avenue to Lake Pontchartrain. At one time, it was a lot longer than it is today. In fact, a portage once linked this bayou to the Mississippi River, making it particularly
In other words, it was the Industrial Canal before the Industrial Canal.
attractive to early French explorers, traders, and trappers.
And I think the Native Americans used that way before it was even known as Bayou St. John.
In 1701, the French established a small fort at the lake end of the bayou to protect this important route. Originally called Fort Saint Jean.
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 Which G-E-A-N is Jean in French, and that's how you say John in French, baby.
I know.
Okay, I'm
it
sorry.
It would eventually be known as Old Spanish Fort by many native New Orleanians. Despite the bayou's smaller stature, this link to the Mississippi was particularly the reason that the French established New Orleans where they did. at
Wow.
the river of the park's route where the French Quarter sits today. Dredged to accomplish larger vessels, Bayou St. John supposedly became the site of Marie Laveau's voodoo rituals in the 19th century. By the early 20th century, commercial use of this once important waterway had declined into the 1930s.
Because they dug the industrial canal, that's why.
Until the 1930s, houseboats were allowed to own the bayou. Today, it's simply a picturesque, slow-moving body of water inclined by greenery, and frequently by sunbathers, anglers, and privacy-seeking residents of mid-city. It's also a state of various annual events such as the Mid-City Bayou Bugaloo in mid-May and the New Orleans Greek Festival in late May.
We're gonna have to check that out too.
City Park, situated near the Lakeview and Mid-City neighborhood. City Park is borrowed or Boordered.
Say that again, please, baby.
Boordered.
Bordered.
Bordered by Robert E. Lee Boulevard, Marconi Drive.
Marconi, as in the guy who invented wireless communications.
City Park Avenue and Windsor Boulevard. Considerably larger than New York City Central Park, this 1,300-acre spread sits on it. Once was a swampy oak forest. It still contains the national largest collection of mature live oaks, some believed to date back to the 1400s or earlier.
Wow.
Stop by the Timken Center, housed in a 1913 Spanish mission-style building for sandwiches, ice cream, and refreshments before exploring the park. City Park compensates several worthy attractions. The New Orleans Botanical Garden is filled with a variety of thematic.
Spell the word, baby.
Thematic.
Thematic.
Thematic gardens, making it a wonderful place for a relaxing stroll. Another local is the City in Waddle Vestal Sculpture Garden, a free outdoor extension of the New Orleans Museum of Art. It's just a pleasant to meander through the rest of the City Park, where you'll find various old-fashioned stone bridges and oodles of moss-covered oak trees. Children are especially fond of the Carousel Garden Amusement Park, March through May and early August, mid-November, Saturday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., June through early August, Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Friday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Late June to early January, Sunday through Thursday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., $4 a person entry, $4 per ride, or $18 for unlimited rides, which probably went up in...
Right. What you doing, baby?
Nothing. Which features numerous rides and a mini train that tours the park. This historic carousel, established here in 1906, officially listed in the National Registry of Historic Places, is now considered the last antique wooden carousel in Louisiana. Another kid-friendly spot in the year-round Storyland. Another kid-friendly spot is the year-round Storyland. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday to Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I want to go to Storyland.
Okay. I'd like to take you.
$4 a person, probably went up a little bit.
Yeah.
The party features 25 larger-than-life sculptures based each on a different fairy tale. From Captain Hook's pirate ship to the Three Little Pigs, paid admission to Storyland, the New Orleans Bacterial Garden, or the Carousel Garden. Amusement park allows you access to all three. Admission prices only apply to the 36 inches in height or taller. Children shorter than that are entitled to free entry as well as a free amusement park ride. If accompanied by a paid adult, if tall enough for the rides with minimum height requirements. Families might also appreciate the park's newest attraction, City Putt. Sunday and Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And Friday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to midnight. $8 an adult, $6 children, 4 to 12, free under 4, which compensates under 18-hole courses. I'm sorry, I would like to go.
I would too.
Of course, I would have to take my time going to all
Right,
these.
it's fine, baby. You're sexy.
Sorry, Degas, D-E-G-A-S, Degas House.
Spell it, please.
D-E-G-A-S, Degas. Degas House.
I guess.
Constructed in 1852, the exactly restored Degas House is the only former residence of a French Imperious Impressionist.
Impressionist. That's a type of painter or artist.
Agner Degas that's open to the public. The artist, whose mother and grandmother were born in New Orleans, lived here from 1872 to 1873. While visiting relatives during his stay, he painted at least 22 works of art.
Wow.
I'd
like to see that too.
Cotton Office in New Orleans, 1873. He lived a year.
I guess yeah. He was from France, baby.
Which became the first impressionist painting ever purchased by a museum. The Agner Degas House Creole Impressionist tour daily 10:30 and 1:45, 29 adult, 26 senior and student. It is usually conducted by Degas' great-grandnieces. During the tour, which usually lasts 2 hours and 15 minutes, you'll enjoy a narrated walk through the house, which is also well regarded B&B. View the documentary Degas in New Orleans, a Creole soldier, and take a guided stroll around the neighborhood, exploring locals mentioned in this artist letter from New Orleans. For $50 per person.
Oh, God.
You can opt for the nearly tour plus a Creole breakfast, 10 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So $100 per person.
Well,
$100
I guess, yeah. Wow.
for 2 people.
Wow.
If you have artistic in
Spell the word, baby.
ARTISTIC.
Artistic.
Artistic
Inclinations.
Consider joining the Painting with Passion class. Various days at 6:30 p.m. $40 a person. Typically featuring Degas inspired creation or an iconic New Orleans image. These sessions usually inspire an hour of socializing, followed by painting lesson. Reserves are acquired in include paint, brushes, canvas, for desserts, and an adult beverage. Wear comfortable clothes.
Oh, boy.
Wear anything that paint or wine won't ruin. And there's a dedicated parking lot nearby, though if it fills up, street parking may be still available. Yeah, I can't do nothing with painting.
I don't want to either.
Well, I'm gonna be ending here since it's already a long video. I'll be starting Greenwood Cemetery tomorrow.